2025 has been an incredible year when it comes to fun and unique highlighters. So I am here with the third installment of the coolest highlighters that I've recently tried in 2025. This is honestly probably one of my favorite types of videos to do, and it has everything to do with the subject matter, and I do think that I have something here that's going to work for everyone. Whether you're into a more natural finish or you're into a more sparkly and intense finish. As for myself, I think each and every one has a time and a place. Most of these highlighters do happen to be new, but I do have a few that are not new, but just new to me, so let's go ahead and get into it. Okay, first we have a highlighter from Refy, and this actually came as part of a holiday kit. It includes a sparkly clear lip gloss and this kind of clear balm that is packed with diamond sparkle. And this balm is actually multi-use, so you can use it on the eyes and on the cheeks like I'm showing here. I think it's actually a pretty fun holiday kit. It retails for $38, and as far as I know, it is still in stock. For this product, I think you're best just kind of working it into the skin with your finger. I don't think you'll find that it's going to move around your base product too much if you use it like that. So this Refy highlighter is new. It's a part of a holiday kit called the Chrome Kit, but basically it's a sheer highlight that has diamond sparkle, so it's going to give the same effect or a similar effect to Fenty's How Many Carats, and it comes in a kit for $38, which I think is, you know, pretty fair overall for kind of more high-end brand. But here is what it looks like swatched on my fingertip, and Refy is definitely a brand that I want to try more from next year because I have been overall pretty impressed with the products I've tried so far. They are a little bit more on the higher end when it comes to price point, but they have some really cool products. And here's what it looks like fully applied. This is a multi-use product, so you can wear it on the eyes as well. But this is what it looks like on the cheek and a little bit closer up. Next from Moira, we have one of their brand new Dreamlight highlighters, and they actually came out with, I want to say either 4 or 6 shades. This is a pretty cool formula. These are baked highlighters. They're very intense. They're not uber sparkly, but you do get some sparkle with them. If you wanted something a little bit more subtle with this highlighter, you'd have to use an incredibly light hand because I think it's just not meant to be a subtle highlight, but I think it's really pretty. And I was honestly pleasantly surprised that these new shades, I think I picked up 2, they don't look ashy. Some of the original iridescent shades kind of do. In general, it's something I have to be wary of. These highlighters from Moira are really nice, actually. They're not as sparkly as you would think, but you will see a little bit of sparkle. It's a beautiful baked formula. They feel more high-end than the price. Like they're, I want to say around $10, and this is one of the newer shades. I think the newer shades are overall pretty similar. You don't need all of them, but I'm just going to go ahead and apply this to the skin. This is the shade Halo Glow. Really intense, blinding highlighter if that's what you're going for. Okay, next I have one of the new highlights from Salt New York in collaboration with Hannah Louise Poston. I have the medium and the deeper palettes, and I actually did do a review on these, so I will link that video in the cards. This formula is definitely one I get on very well with because it's all about kind of a wet sheen to the skin. It gives a beautiful natural glow and that sheen, and I just love it for day to day. Now, don't get me wrong, this has its own intensity to it, but obviously this is going for something completely different than Moira. All right, the Salt New York times HLP highlights definitely remind me of some of my favorite highlighters from KJH brand. These are definitely no sparkle highlights that have a pretty natural finish, And I have the two from the medium and deeper palettes. So I'm gonna go ahead and apply these. I've been really enjoying this formula and excited to play around with it more. It seems to me like it's probably, you know, on that same spectrum as the KJH ones, maybe just a little bit more natural. I think the medium one is honestly probably a bit more suited to me, but it just gives the skin such a beautiful wet look. And again, this is the shade Sabile, which is in the medium palette. Sorry if I mispronounced that, but I'm just going to go ahead and get a little bit closer so you can see that I really, really love these highlighters. And I love the blushes too, but I think the highlighters for me are my favorite. And that part of that is just where my own, you know, personal preference is just I love highlighters like these. I love brown blushes too, but these for me did steal the show. Okay, also from HLP Times Salt, we have the deeper highlight shade, and this is called Vivienne. Same exact concept as the previous highlight that I showed, Sabile, but this one is deeper, and I actually think that by itself, it's probably a little bit too deep for my skin tone, but would be beautiful when mixed. Now I'm gonna go in with that deeper shade. I do have the lighter shade, or the medium tone shade on this cheek, but I'm just going to layer on top this deeper shade because I have quite a few highlighters to put on. As you can see, it visibly looks deeper on my fingertip, and when you apply it to the skin, I think it's beautiful, but I think it's just that the medium one is a little bit more suited to me, or maybe I could mix the two, but here is what the deeper one looks like fully applied. If you're into this kind of highlighter, I think you will really enjoy these ones from Hannah's collab with Salt New York. Okay, next we have a brand new highlighter from Rituel de Fille. This is a rare light cream luminizer, so it has no sparkle. It is a cream highlight, and it's described as being a fuchsia flash. This is a limited edition Black Friday shade, and I actually did a deep dive on this collection in a video, which I will have linked down below. I've talked about this formula at length on my channel because I really get on so well with it. I love the shade offerings that they have, and you get something that's interesting while still being very approachable. Y'all already know how much I love this formula from Rituel de Fille. This is the Rare Light Cream Luminizer, and this is the shade Apparition, which is their brand new shade as a part of the limited edition Black Friday launch. So let's go ahead and apply this. They have just so many beautiful shades in this range, and I love that they continue to pad it out. I feel like this formula from them is here to stay. And they keep adding really fun and unique shades. And this is described as a fuchsia flash. Okay, next we have a pretty new highlighter from MAC. This is actually a part of their holiday collection, and this is a very interesting texture. It feels almost like a cream to powder, which is why you see a little indent in the pan. This is a very beautiful, no sparkle green highlight, and I'm actually not sure if this is a new formula for MAC. I've tried a blush kind of like this formula before, but I gotta say, I honestly was a big fan of it, and I hope they do more like this in the future. I think this may be on sale right now too. All right, we are gonna try Investment from MAC. Like I said, this is a no sparkle green highlight, and I'm always looking for highlights, especially colorful ones that are no sparkle, kind of perfect for day-to-day wear. And I believe these are on sale right now. If I'm not mistaken. I did kind of feel like the NYX are a decently good dupe for these, but you know, the formula is different. The NYX do have some sparkle in them, but let's go ahead and apply it to the cheek. And I like that this formula does not have a white cast, and you can wear it kind of more subtly or build it up for a higher intensity. But I just think that this has a really beautiful green glow on the skin. And here's what all of the shades I just talked about and tried on look like swatched to my arm. Let's go ahead and get into the second set of highlighters that I've tried. Okay, next we have a highlight that's not new, but it's new to me. This is Fire Opal from House Labs. As you can see, it's a powder highlight and it has a very intense finish, but I don't find it to be overly sparkly. And honestly, I've never seen a highlight shade quite like this one. The shade is totally what drew me in, and also the fact that I have a lot of favorites from House Labs. I'm not sure exactly how this would look on lighter skin tones, but I feel like especially on medium to deeper skin tones, this would be so flattering. I do have to mention though, this is quite pricey at around $40. Next, we have a highlighter that's not new, but it's new to me. This is Fire Opal from House Labs. First of all, the packaging is like this really pretty rainbow iridescent. And I've had this highlighter recommended to me by so many people, and I also have seen that it's a favorite for a lot of people. I feel like this shade in particular is going to be really flattering for medium to deeper skin tones. It's my first powder highlight that I've tried from the brand, but let's go ahead and apply it. The shade is just outrageously beautiful. And it's not too sparkly, like it's not, you know, completely without sparkle, but it's not too sparkly, but it has such a punch to it. See if you can see that incredible shift. Okay, next we have a highlighter from Laca. Actually, I dropped this highlighter when I first got it, so it's meant to have a lid on it, but that's no one's fault but my own. This is a pale blue highlight, and it's a powder formula that has no sparkle, and this is such a beautiful ethereal blue tone. I was definitely excited to try this out. I was able to get it on Amazon. It's really nice. You're able to get a lot of products from Laca, which is a K-beauty brand, on Amazon, and they have some very interesting alt beauty lover type of shades. Next, we have the Laca Water Beam Highlight. You can get these on Amazon. I find Laca to be pretty affordable, K-beauty brand. And I also compared this to the Dior Blue Strobe highlighter. It's different, but it is going to give the vibes. And if you liked that highlighter but were looking for one without sparkle, I think this is a good option. I honestly really like both, but I feel like each one has a sort of time and a place. So I'm just going to show you what this looks like. You know, I think on me, you have to be careful because you can get a white cast with it. But if you're looking for kind of light ethereal blue glow, this is a good option. Next, from Kiko Milano, we have a highlighter that was part of their holiday release, and this is called Fairytale Frost. It's a beautiful highlighter that you can see you can customize the shade. You have champagne in there, you have a pale pink, and a mid-tone pink, so I think that this shade is going to flatter a wide range of skin tones. The formula itself is lovely. I feel like this looks like a high-end highlighter on my skin. Next, we have a highlighter from Kiko. The only thing about Kiko is that they tend to do some really cool products that are limited edition or seasonal. And unfortunately, this one is already out of stock, but I want to show it because in case, you know, you see new Kiko releases and similar to this, maybe you would want to try it. I think that this is a really fun highlighter. It's again one of the ones that you can sort of customize the shade. I think it only came in one shade, but you can mix it to make a custom shade for you. And in general, just very impressed with products from Kiko Milano. They're affordable, they feel high-end, and the packaging is nice, the formulas are nice. They have a lot of lip products that I've tried and featured so far. Not as many highlighters, but definitely curious and keen to try out more from the brand. Next, we have a cream highlighter from Catrice. I honestly haven't tried too much from Catrice, but I'm very keen to because they seem to have a pretty high quality and at a very affordable price point. The packaging doesn't feel heavy. In fact, it can feel a little bit more on the cheaper side, but the formulas themselves, honestly seem quite nice from what I've tried. As I mentioned, this is a cream highlighter, and you can kind of mix in the different shades to customize your own shade, because you can see you have some depth and some lighter tones in this one highlighter. And you do have some sparkle in here, but it's honestly not crazy. All right, next I have a new highlighter from Catrice. I actually don't know if this highlighter itself is new, but it's new to me. Catrice has a lot of products that I really need to play around with more because they do affordable, really fun makeup, and they look like they have a pretty extensive offering. But when I saw these, I immediately thought of the Ortega highlighters that I tried last year. And they have a sort of swirl pattern that's similar to the Catrice. They have, some of them have a little bit of a tint to them like this, and they have the sparkle in them. But I thought that this could very well be an affordable kind of dupe for that. And really, it does seem like that is the case. And what's fun about this is that you can kind of customize your shade to what you want. You can get something a little bit lighter, a little bit rosier, a little bit deeper if that's what you want, or you can swirl all of them together and get a pretty pinkish hue. So I'm gonna go ahead and apply it. And this formula does seem nice. You are gonna get a little bit of sparkle with it, but it's not crazy. It's not sparkle free. And here is what it looks like fully applied. Okay, next I do want to mention this palette from Nars. I did a video on it, but now is a good time to talk about it because this is the holiday blush palette of the year. This is the deeper of the two. It's currently 30% off, which I think is honestly a good price point for being able to get 3 blushes and 3 highlighters. And these highlighters are really the products that stole the show for me, although I do like the blushes. But these highlighters are beautiful and smooth. They don't have sparkle, but they have some intensity. Look at that pale pink. I wasn't sure if it was gonna look too icy on my skin tone, but honestly, it doesn't. I feel like it honestly kind of pops. But of course, you do have to be okay with pink blush and pink highlight to get on board with this palette, because this in general is a pink palette. I think the tones in it are cool and great for winter. They just really needed to have one deeper palette. As I mentioned, this Nars palette is currently on sale, and I think at 30% off, that's a really good deal. If this color story is speaking to you, the highlighters in here are definitely my favorite part. Very beautiful, no sparkle highlights, really pretty for day-to-day. And I honestly liked all 3 highlight shades, although something about this icier pink tone really got me. The other 2 are kind of more like, I guess, blush toppers on me, but I'm gonna apply this light pink just so that you can see it. It just really pops. And these also make really pretty eyeshadows as well. Okay, and I do want to take some time to talk about the REM Beauty x Wicked palette. This is the Cherry Blossom palette. It does come in 2 different shades. It is currently on a pretty deep discount. You can get it for 30% off, and 2 of the products in here are what I would consider to be highlighters or blush lighters in that genre, and I think it's a beautiful palette. That middle shade is a lot of fun. It has gold in it, pink in it, so again, you can swirl it and kind of get a customized shade, and I really like that coral toned shade as well. The packaging is a little bit bulky, but the product itself is pretty, and I feel like for 30% off, it could be also a really nice gift for someone else if you're looking for that type of thing. Now, is this the most unique formula I'm talking about today? No. And this REM Beauty blush palette is currently on sale. It's part of the new Wicked collection. These 2 shades here are more like highlight slash blush lighters. But I'm just gonna go ahead and mix the 2. Actually, yeah, I think I'm gonna mix the 2 together. First apply this middle shade to the cheekbone, just so you can see. But the powders in here are very pretty. And I like that you can build, you know, kind of a custom shade with that middle one. It's so pretty. And then I really like this peach toned blush lighter that's in there as well. So I'm just gonna apply that on top. So if you had this on your wish list, you know, now could be a good time to get it. I think this Wicked collaboration actually was my favorite between the two, between this year and last year. I think they had a lot more kind of hits for me. And one of the things that I recommended from that collection is this blush palette. The only thing is that, yeah, I mean, the packaging is definitely a little bit on the bulky side, but I think that for 30% off, this could be worth it. Okay, and the last product I'm going to talk about is one of the quads from Huda. Now, this recently came out. She came out with 3 quads, and this is the Roseberry quad, which is my own personal favorite. I have a whole video where I talk about these quads, and for me, definitely the star of the show is the blush lighters that are in them. Now, these are sparkly, but I feel like they go so well with the blushes that are in each colorway. And I definitely feel like of the 3 palettes, the one that flattered me the best is the Roseberry palette. Personally, I didn't love the way that the shades for these Huda quads were organized. I wish they were more organized into light, medium, and deep. But this is my favorite one. I think this is sort of the deepest of the 3. Or it has, you know, some of the deeper shades in here. But this one I did think is really pretty, and the blush lighters in these palettes really stole the show for me. So I'm just going to go ahead and show you again what it looks like applied to the cheek. Just first going to go in with this kind of more terracotta toned blush, which I do think suits my skin tone well. And then I'm going to top over it with this blush lighter. These are sparkly blush lighters, but they just have a really pretty sheen on the skin. And I did see in other people's review that they have also enjoyed these blush lighters. They're just a lot of fun. And this shade I think is super pretty. Here is what it looks like fully applied. And here is what the second set of highlighters that I talked about and tried on look like swatched my arm. All of the labels are from the wrist down. All right, now that I've had a chance to go through all of these new to me highlighters, I hope that you found this video helpful. I really love making these videos. Honestly, talking about highlighters is definitely one of my favorite things. And I just love coming back every couple of months and doing a roundup of all the recent and new highlighters that I've tried. I think that there are definitely some in here that are going to become favorites of mine for day to day and for occasions, but I'd love to hear what your favorites were in the comments. As always, I really hope you found this video helpful. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.